Hey guys, Decav13 here, and welcome back to some more Let's Play Fate Grand Order. Alright, let's go Section 14, Lost Belt. Gonna have a fun time with this one, since we're gonna be fighting off against Kadoc and his servant for the first time. Let's see, just kind of assassins, so... I'll swap you out for... Sansa, and I'm on the wrong team again. There we go. Yeah, that should be alright. Kadoc? Where have I heard that name before?
If I may, Senpai. Kadoc Zemlupus is a member of Team A. He possesses an exemplary aptitude for ray shifting, and I believe...
Don't bother. I don't care if he remembers me or not. Besides, Showdown already told you who we are. I'm one of the 7 cryptors, and we helped bring about the end of the world. That should be enough for you.
Wait, please! Then, does that mean that you, and Kirshtaria, and everyone else on Team A are really...
You sure talk a lot more now, don't you? Back then you just parroted whatever anyone told you. But that doesn't matter. Stay out of this cure light. You were nothing more than a tool to us. A device we planned to bring along to help us summon servants after we'd ray-shifted. We never cared about your opinions. You were just supposed to keep your mouth shut and help us out however we needed. So don't bother worrying about infringing on our rights, or what we're like as people. We never bothered to do that for you after all.
That's not... No, that doesn't matter anymore. Now you're an enemy of Chaldea, aren't you, Kadoc?
That's right. I'm glad you're not a complete idiot. That saves a lot of time. We've already made our declaration of war. Our goal is to grow our Lost Belts and bring about an end to proper human history. I guess we've already pretty much taken care of that last bit.
Lost Belt? Is that what the singularity is called?
No. A singularity is just a single point in time. This is a belt. The point when everything changed in this world happened long ago, and now it has its own history. It sucks there's no more rock music anymore. But the demonic beast howls can get pretty close. Why would you do this? I don't have to tell you shit. But I guess we can talk a little bit before I kill you. Tell me, John, why didn't you die instead of us?
Huh?
Instead of you? You heard me. There would have been way fewer losses that way. We all know what you achieved. Gotta admit, freaking sucked to have that be one of the first things we heard about after we woke up. And now that we know, I can say this with total certainty. If it had been me, or even better, anyone else on Team A, especially Showdown, I bet there'd have been way fewer dead. And we wouldn't have taken a whole damn year either. I just happened to be the only master left. Exactly. You just happened to be there, so you just happened to get chosen. Thanks to that, a ton of people died in the incineration of humanity. Congratulations! You racked up the highest casualty count imaginable.
That's enough, Kadoc. Remember, I'm John's servant now. I'm not about to let you insult my master, no matter what the circumstance.
You can't fool me, Kirillite. Don't tell me the thought never crossed your mind. Everyone on Team A was chosen for a reason. Showdown, Ophelia, Pepe, David. Any one of them would have done a better job than John there. You know it.
You may be right, but there's no point in thinking about that now. The fact is, none of you were there. We all did the best we could under the circumstances. We didn't have time to even consider hypotheticals during the year it took us for the restoration of humanity. But I can tell you there's one thing I'm certain of after what you've said, Kadoc.
Oh? And what's that?
I would never have lived to see how things turned out if anyone from Team A had been the one to handle it. If it wasn't for Master John, I wouldn't even be here right now.
Well, I guess you got me there. Any one of us would have probably abandoned you without a second thought at some point.
So if you're in charge of Russia, Kadoc, I take it the others are all in charge of the other Lost Belts?
That's right. Not that knowing it that's gonna do you much good. I still don't get what your goal is. We're cryptors. We're wiping the Earth's slate clean and giving it the gift of true humanity. That's our goal. By the way, who are those servants you've got with you? I do not feel any particular obligation to divulge my identity to a spoiled child of an enemy such as you. Fucking get him, Advocate Braun.
Same here. Not that I expect I'm fooling anyone.
Well, whatever. Never hurts to be cautious, but I'll be getting rid of you all anyway. Oprichniki, kill them.
Master, the Oprichniki are about to attack. Please prepare for battle.
Let's do this, you two! I agree with Advocate Braun. Kadoc is kind of a spoiled brat. I feel that way kind of about the rest of the cryptors, too. At least from the information we have so far. Since we have 3 waves, I might as well space out skill usage a little bit. I mean, not that we really need the oh, why am I turning it up? Not that we really need the defense boost against the Oprichniki. Oh. At least my waiver got a bit of NP gain from that. Alright, 2 on this wave. Not that's much more of a challenge. Alright, yeah, this should be able to do it. Might as well go with one of these at a time. Ooh, that was a good crit.
それでいい。
行くぞ。罠だ。
There we go.
やったー。悟空がいなくたって勝てるもんね。
Oh, forgive me for yawning a bit. Just woke up. Had to get this done because I didn't have an episode recorded for today. Alright, this next fight should be a bit more challenging considering we're going up against a caster. I wonder who. As well as assassins. Let's say I could throw in my Anastasia. But nah. I'd rather throw in a support. Actually, yeah, I'll throw in a Scotty. Because I want to use a rider. Yeah, at this point, my rider Kintoki will have more attack than. Yeah. Alright, where the hell is Gander? Must have had up. There it is. And let me just switch out my equipment. Grab the combat uniform. My, looks like I'll have to make another one. A Kabbalist. Are you Solomon in Gabirol, aka Avicabron the Golem Master? I suppose using so many golems does make it obvious, even with the mask. You are indeed correct. I don't even need to bother asking about you. Well, I can't tell if you're Billy the Kid or Buffalo Bill, but that really doesn't much matter. The hell it doesn't! I'm Billy, and I ain't gonna tolerate being confused for no prairie lover. Anyway, this works out nicely. You've got your servants and I've got mine. Let's find out which of them is stronger. Caster!
Oh no! Was it worth coming out all this way then, Master?
I hate letting wild cards run around, so yeah. I feel a lot better now.
That's the woman who destroyed Chaldea! Then she was a servant who hails from this version of Russia. I knew it! Avicabron seems like he would be rather useful.
So what, you want me to change out your contract? I mean, I could do that, but... Alright. Might not be the easiest fight for you, but I'm sure you can pull this off.
Oh yes, that much is certain. Bow down before the glory of the Tsar, fiends of proper human history. My name is Anastasia. I am the daughter of this land's undying dynasty, now and forevermore.
I knew it! You're Grand Duchess Anastasia of the Romanov dynasty! But how is that possible? You're a tragic figure, not a valiant one. Nothing you did should have let you become a heroic spirit.
Yes, you're right. I have no barbaric tales of heroism to my name, nor any stories of royalty gone mad. But I do have thee. I am a servant of this lost belt, and as such I shall eliminate you all. Come, V. Let's kill them together. Hear my command and obey. You are to become sculptures of snow and ice, writhing in agony in this world of permafrost for all eternity.
Alright, so yeah, we get one wave of Obrachnikis to charge up. I was kind of hesitant about bringing in King Toki. But I think with both Waver and Scotty, we should be able to charge him up to 100 in turn 1. Even with his own MP battery, too. All just wanted to use their skill, huh? I think I'll use this on one of them. Might as well at this point. So that way I don't get hit with 2. Buff chance down. Not that really matters much. Alright, Anastasia.
反人類仕事機が私に勝てるとでも
加速しろ
Charge plus each turn. Alright, yeah, so yeah, look. Hey, Kadoc has his command seals as well. Alright, let's throw in King Toki. Alright, yeah, we got the hell buffed out of King Toki now. So I say let's go. Yeah, might as well go for a chain with him. This probably, I mean, this definitely won't kill her, but it should at least do a decent amount of her health. Not too bad. 180,000. Alright, that's just about half her health in one turn. Remove debuff. That's fine. Her attack down isn't all that impressive. Let's get my waivers NP ready. So that way I can at least, on returning formation, or what the NP does. That'll be kind of devastating. NP resist up. Man, you should have started with that, dude. How long does that NP resist up last? 2 turns. Alright. So let's go on returning formation. Scotty's. So Actually, no matter what, she'll be ready to use her Noble Phantasm next turn. But, I'll be able to use Gate of Sky if she doesn't use her Mystic Eyes of Penetration again. At least I should be able to launch up Gate. Oh yeah, no, I can launch up Gate of Sky next turn. Alright, let's do what I said. Gate of Sky. And then I'll go 2 quick cards from Kintoki. This should allow, I mean, again, unless she uses Mystic Eyes of Penetration, this should allow us to avoid her Noble Phantasm. Damage cut helps too. Okay, good, she didn't use it. So that means we're avoiding V. I think that does give us skill seal for a turn though. Yeah, we'll get hit with defense down and skill seal, unfortunately. But oh well. Well, not all of us got hit with it. Ooh, Kintoki chain. And we've crit up thanks to Gate of Sky. This'll hurt. Ooh, this'll kill. Man, Kintoki's great.
V! Let your gaze unfurl even more. Let your wicked eye expose the truth behind all things.
Mystic Eyes. So that demonic beast is what's been turning my golems to dust in an instant.
How rude. V is no demonic beast. He's my most trusted elemental. He has been an ally to the Romanov dynasty for generations.
That doesn't make him any less of a monster. I suppose I was a bit late coming up with an anti-Mystic Eye strategy. Anastasia, look out! Salieri's woken up! Cursed dogs of the Tsar!
V!
Behold my noble phantasm! Our Lord in heaven, have pity on me! Dio Santissimo Misericordia de mi!
V! This is...
He doesn't care who he hits! Can't believe that was the first thing he pulled after getting his memories back. What a whack job. Still, looks like that was all he had.
Oh my, you certainly startled me. I must be the only member of the Romanov dynasty who has ever been attacked from above by the court musician. Not that it matters now.
You... How dare you brainwash me? Twist me into doing your dirty work! You're nuts. I didn't twist you into anything. All I did was put you to work in an effective way. Anyway, I can't have you running around on your own anymore, no matter how weak you might be. Anastasia, crush his legs. Got you. Golems activate. Mine hand is a spear of azure ice. Chesed Sephiroth! Hey, snow golem. Did he just turn snow into golems? Anastasia!
Since when do masters go around shielding their servants?
It's no big deal. I just did it because I thought I could. And I was right. Neither of us is hurt, are we? Kadoc. Very well then. I believe that is our cue to escape. I trust we will be taking him with us. Of course. I see. So this is what it means for one's master to rub off on you. I will have to bear this in mind for future reference. Follow them. Understood.
Would it be any consolation if I said we at least avoided the worst possible outcome?
I suppose. Would have been best if we could have crushed them here, but we didn't have the priest or enough Oprichniki to make that happen. If we can take them all together, so much the better. Besides, thanks to you, I got an idea.
What is it?
If it works, it might just be what we need to bring down the big mountain all at once.
I see. I thought a plan would take a little longer to come to fruition.
It all depends on how well we negotiate. If I can offer him something he wants, he's bound to give in. That's the sort of servant he is. Alright then, let's start spreading the Tsar's glory to this part of the frontier. Oprichniki, this place is harboring traitorous rebels. I take it you know what to do. Yes, everything shall burn. Everyone shall die. That's right. You're all to crush this town with your own hands.
That must have been what they were like back when they were alive, too. Just like the ones who killed me.
Keep that to yourself, Anastasia, or you'll end up disrespecting the Tsar.
Master, don't you preach to me about disrespect.
Right, sorry about that. Anyway, they should be done at the palace at this point.
That's true. We should hurry back then. The Tsar must be looking for me by now, even if he hasn't fully awakened.
Alright, I think we'll probably do one more section. I want to make this one kind of short, because you know, I need to get this up for today. I mean, this should be okay. Oh, it's mostly just crit shots and then our Hydra. That's nothing. Yeah, we'll do 16 in the next one then. Same with 17. 16 is only one part. 17 is going to be a lot. It was, I remember, such a beautiful, peaceful day. The flowers that bloomed here were so beautiful, so strong. You too are a flower blooming here in the confines of this place. I don't know who this is. I think this is Advocate Braun. That's what I wanted to say. Maybe I actually did. Maybe I was never able to summon up the courage. Either way, I grieve for the flowers. And yet now I can no longer even remember what they looked... Or maybe this is Salieri. No, it's not. Oh, this is Ivan's memory. Just wondering what the fuck was going on.
Dad, why do Yaga have to be strong?
Well, the way I see it, we Yaga made a mistake.
A mistake?
We mistook how the world works. Or maybe how we chose it? Whatever it was, we made a mistake and the world left us behind. Still, while we may have made a mistake, that doesn't mean we were in the wrong. We're still here. We're still alive. So as long as that's the case, we'll keep on fighting until the world ends once and for all.
Okay.
I still remember that conversation. This world is always beset by blizzards. It's rare that we ever see the sun's light directly. It's not just in my head. Surviving here really does take a lot out of you. I think I get what my old man meant now. No matter how hard it gets, we will keep on surviving. Until there's no more world left for us. So this is the capital, Yaga Moscow.
Goodness, I can't believe he defied the Tsar.
Worthless Yaga, hell's too good for him. Damn it. Move. Shut up!
Did that Yaga do something bad?
He's an incorrigible Yaga who forgot the debt of gratitude we owe to the Tsar. Now he's suffering the consequences for incurring the Tsar's wrath, and rightly so. Make sure you don't ever end up like him. I don't know what he was thinking, defying the strongest being in existence. We all need to stick together if we're going to survive in this world. Stick together, he says. What a laugh. It's so funny it makes me want to scream. All we do is abandon our weak. We cut them out like crit shot entrails. In consequence, our numbers are always dwindling. That's who we Yaga are. We just keep dying and killing. We live without hope. We're just waiting for our inevitable doom, without even trying to fight back against it. You must be the first rebel to ever make it this far, Pachi. By the way, there's still something I don't quite understand. After your rebel friends retreated, why did you continue to wander the town alone? Surely you weren't just bringing up the rear. Shut up! Very well then. Let's change the subject. Would you mind telling me where the rebel army base is located? It can be our little secret. I'm afraid I've been so concerned about it that it's been keeping me up at night, just like Kadoc. If you could help me with my insomnia, you have my word that I will let you go in return. You really think I'd ever tell you that? What's so funny? What's with the creepy laugh? Easy, young Pachi. Relax. I know you're just an ordinary Yaga. As I said before, I also know that even ordinary Yaga are highly resilient creatures. Physically, that is. Conversely, they are mentally fragile and quite easily broken, especially in the face of someone stronger than they are. Perhaps it's their bestial instincts at work? Who could say? What are you talking about? What are you getting at, you evil bastard? Oh, that should become clear shortly. This will be a test of sorts for myself as well as for you.
What is this place?
It would seem to be a village that the Oprichniki razed to the ground. Unfortunately, none survived. Though it pains me to say this, I believe we should set up camp here. We need to take advantage of everything we can, after all. How could you lose so miserably? You were 2 servants to their 1!
Sure did. Mighty sorry about that.
I have no excuse. We've still got plenty of fight left. Ha! If that pathetic display was the best you could do, you'll just get your asses handed you again.
Care to repeat that for me, fella?
It's true! Deep down you know I'm right!
Well, I believe what Goldorf is trying to say is that servant is a fearsome opponent. As such, you could use all the help you can get. So why not have Antonio Salieri there join our side?
Who are you lot?
We're the Chaldea Security Organization. We came here from a place outside of Russia. Though I'm afraid we've lost the building that used to be our headquarters. At any rate, the person there with you is John, Chaldea's last remaining master. There's also...
I'm Avakebron. I take it you are the Salieri. Perhaps not quite in the way you imply, but yes. I will admit to being that Salieri.
What do you mean?
The name Salieri is synonymous with one thing. Wasn't Amadeus, No need to dance around it. You have heard I am responsible for Amadeus's death, have you not? I am the embodiment of that reputation. Give me a moment while I remove this mystic code.
Mystic code?
Phew. This is who I truly am. Take a look at my servant's power for yourselves.
Oh.
You're quite weak. I didn't think there were any other servants in this world with lower stats than Shakespeare or myself. It would seem you even gave Anderson a good run for... It would seem you even give Anderson a good run for his money. Of course. I'm just an ordinary composer. I never wrote any symphonies that left a mark on history. At best, I am a mediocrity of a man. But no matter. The sole reason I exist on the throne of heroes at all is because I am said to have killed Amadeus. Whether or not I actually did kill him is completely irrelevant. People were convinced that I did, and so, here I am.
Then one might say you are affected by the innocent monster skill.
I believe so.
True, Salieri was indeed suspected of killing Amadeus, even when he was still alive. Right, they even made a movie about it.
Okay, so why were you on Ivan the Terrible's side then?
I would like to know that as well. Are you originally a servant from this Lost Belt? I believe the crypter, that boy Kadoc, called this place a Lost Belt.
So you know of that name. First, let me answer your question with one of my own. Tell me, humans of Chaldea, what do you know about the Lost Belts?
Well, only that there are abnormal zones that somewhat resemble singularities. If you don't mind, Miss Kirillite, I'll field that one. First, it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Mr. Salieri. I'm Sherlock Holmes, Chaldea's administrative advisor. I became a servant through unusual means, just like you. We have been investigating this peculiar version of Russia, where history is so unlike our own. I have a number of hypotheses, but had been unable to find a critical element to tie everything together. Until you first mentioned that word. Lost Belt. A chronological table detailing an alternate path taken by human history. An unbroken strip that continues onward to the present day, rather than occupying a single point in time. No wonder it isn't like a singularity. A singularity is one point in time where history as it should be went awry after all. That is not the case here in Russia. In this world, everything is as it should be. Nothing has gone awry. It has history quite separate from our own proper human history, even though it is not a world gone completely mad like the singularities. No doubt the branching point was the Great Cold Wave that struck 450 years ago, when Earth was thrown into a new ice age. And Russia as we see it now is the product of history moving forward from that point. So, you're saying this is an ongoing deviation from human history? Is that anything like a parallel world? Nope, it's not that. These Lost Belts are something altogether different. If we assume that parallel worlds exist, then their civilization and lifestyle should also fundamentally be the same. By definition, they're closely tied to a well-defined base world. In other words, the base world and its parallel worlds are all following the same course. But let's say there's a world where history diverges radically, going completely off the rails. Say at one point something changes irrevocably. It could be a huge natural disaster or a major technological breakthrough. And the world that's gone off the rails is effectively erased from this universe, deemed to be something that doesn't belong. Once that happens, its destruction is all but assured. No matter how developed it might be, its evolution just ends. For better or worse, this universe just isn't willing to tolerate worlds whose future prospects are plain to see. You know how you prune unnecessary branches when you're trying to grow a tree? Same thing here. If a world, even a utopia, strays too far from its base axis, it gets the clippers, so to speak. In the Magecraft world, it's called the pruning theoretical phenomenon. And it's what allows our universe to keep expanding unimpeded. That is the Mages Association stance anyway. The pruning theoretical phenomenon. Then Russia didn't end up as a frozen wasteland because of a plot, like what happened with the King of Mages. Correct. Its climate has always been like this, and it is in fact the very climate that led to the changes in human history. This is a world where history continued on past the 100-year marker, long after it would have ordinarily been pruned away. In essence, this history lost a proper human history, but now it has appeared in our own world. Right, looks like strong alternative histories, or lost belts, which we know nothing about, are being wielded as weapons to invade and destroy proper human history. The incineration of humanity was an attack on human history orchestrated by Goetia, a singular entity. But now these lost belts are attacking the very world itself. If I were to give this a name, I think I might call it the felling theoretical phenomenon. Yeah, I like the sound of that. Let's go with it. History that lost to other history. Are you serious? Then what, you're telling us this Russia is going to become the de facto way of life for the entire planet? If it continues on this path, yes. But of course, we won't let it come to that. Now then, that went on quite a bit longer than I had anticipated. That is our current theory. Tell me, Mr. Salieri, are we more or less on the mark?
Yes, you're spot on. I'm impressed you managed to arrive at that conclusion without being from a lost belt yourselves. There is nothing more I can tell you beyond what you've figured out. Now that you have the facts, what you do with them is up to you. As for your original question, you wish to know if I originate from this lost belt, and whether I serve that cryptor. My answer, of course, is no. This Russia has not known music for some time. My story is the same as that gunslinger's. I am a rogue servant summoned by the death throes of this land's true form before the Lost Belt overwrote it. My memories of proper human history are now vague, and have been conflated with my memories of this Lost Belt. I cannot say if it was that master or that priest, but one of them did something to my head. Even as we speak, I remain unsure if I am on the right side.
We will simply have to trust that you are. If nothing else, we know that you are not a Yaga.
Yes, that's true. That is very true. Above all, this world is utterly devoid of music. It seems I have no choice but to join your side.
Thank you. We are grateful for your assistance. To begin, we could use any information you have. What can you tell us about the servants in Yaga Moscow?
I am the court musician. Nothing less and nothing more. I had no contact with the outside world. The only one who ever spoke to me was Metropolitan Macarius.
Metropolitan Macarius? That was the only man Ivan the Terrible looked up to as a mentor. Is he a Yaga too?
No, he's a servant. He does look human, but I doubt he is the same man. He's probably Japanese, and a pseudo-servant.
A Japanese priest, and a pseudo-servant? It must be Father Kotomine.
I don't know anything about any others. The only people I've met are the Oprichniki and that master and servant pair we just fought earlier.
I see. Well, that's disappointing. Very well then, what do you know about that endless storm wall? Or perhaps the Tree of Emptiness?
I know nothing about either. Although, I did hear Metropolitan Macarius say that that tree is the cornerstone of this Lost Belt. He also said that without the Tree of Emptiness, it would be impossible to mount an attack on reality.
So then, that tree really is the cause of all this? That would definitely seem to make the most sense. For one thing, it's smack dab in the middle of this Lost Belt. And for another, it's a foreign entity that's not even showing up on the Paper Moon's compass. This is the same Paper Moon that's been observing this Lost Belt Russia as an ordinary part of the Earth's topography, and the only thing it can figure out to do with that tree is exclude it. So for the moment, it would seem safe to assume that that tree is the source of this felling theoretical phenomenon.
Then if we do something about that tree, Russia will return to the way it was. Easier said than done. The Tree of Emptiness lies with the Tsar himself. To reach it, you'll have to face him.
I see. Then it seems you'll have to do just that at some point. What about the Oprichniki? How many of them are stationed in the capital?
No less than a small army.
A small army? Just like what we saw in Antarctica. That's going to be quite the obstacle.
This is no laughing matter, Holmes. I fail to see what you find so funny.
Is that mystic code you were wearing an innocent monster too?
That's right. I am the man in gray, the one who drove Mozart to his death. Salieri is no less than an avatar I wear, so to speak, out of convenience.
I have one last question. What do you think of this lost belt?
I think it needs to be fixed. Isn't that what you people are attempting to do?
Yes, that is certainly one of our goals.
John, was it? I can see you are the conductor of this little orchestra. Are you mad? I'm the commander around here. He's nothing more than an occasionally useful trombone.
I suppose that would make me the violin. Da Vinci, how do you feel about being the flute?
Good grief. You all certainly love your digressions, don't you? You remind me of Amadeus and his unshakable high spirits. John, I would like to speak with Sherlock Holmes. Alone, if possible.
So you just want me to excuse myself for a bit? Okay.
My apologies. I hope this won't take too long.
I'm kinda curious to know what that Salieri fellow wants to talk to Holmes about. The Lost Belt, maybe? That would be my guess. Salieri has been here longer than any of us. I expect he has his own sense of things.
Thank you for your patience. Allow me to come to the point. I have decided to join you, though conditionally. You may employ my power however you see fit.
What's the condition?
Simple. Should we encounter Amadeus, you will let me focus on him first and foremost.
Wait, what? Does that mean you're going to kill him?
Of course. I am the man in gray, the innocent monster known as Salieri. If we were to meet, I would have no choice but to kill him.
I can't accept that. If Amadeus has been summoned here, he's sure to be a servant from proper human history.
If I had been summoned as an anti-hero, so tortured by malice that I was constantly writhing in agony, I would be so at odds with all of you that we would not even be able to have this conversation. I admit that earlier I was so overcome by a berserker-like madness that I simply went around mercilessly slaughtering any Yaga I encountered. But now I have regained my senses and my sanity alike. Even picturing Amadeus's smug, pear-shaped face does little more than make my skin crawl. In other words...
I see. Like master, like servant. That means the Amadeus who is here is evil now. I suppose it is the fate of every servant to be influenced by their master's personality.
That is why I will kill Amadeus. I must kill him. It is my destiny. My fate.
What if Amadeus turns out to be on our side?
If he is, then I will become your enemy once more. My purpose in life is to kill Amadeus. That will never change. Now then, that's enough chit-chat. We are returning to the Rebel Army's stronghold tomorrow, are we not? You should rest up while you can, Master. Now, if you will excuse me.
So, Amadeus is our enemy now. I know we fought former allies before, like Ku Lane, but...
Never gets any easier. I wouldn't worry about it if I were you. This friend-turned-enemy servant would be unaware of his betrayal. Take the heroes of myth. They have always been much more willing to accept shifting allegiances among both their friends and foes. It was their belief that they would all meet again in Eden, so they had no difficulty taking it in stride when their friend became foe or vice versa. Above all, there is nothing you could do now that would undo the encouragement he once offered you. Rest assured that he spoke truly, sincerely, and from the heart.
That's a good point. Thank you, Avakebron.
Can I call you Professor from now on? Please don't. That would be rather painful for me.
Painful?
I have no right to be anyone's teacher. I've long since abandoned any qualifications I may have had.
Moving on, we need to discuss Kadoc's servant.
I believe she is to him what Miss Kirillite is to John, his personal exclusive servant. She is also, of course, the monster who encased all of Chaldea in solid ice.
Right. I remember Kadoc called her by her true name at one point. Anastasia.
Anastasia?
If my theory is correct, she is a descendant of the Romanov dynasty. She is a Grand Duchess who came to a most tragic end. There's another famous figure by that name too. Ivan the Terrible's first wife, the first Tsaritsa whom he loved with all his heart. So which Anastasia are we dealing with here? I'm afraid there need be no suspense about this. She is unquestionably the Romanov descendant.
How can you be so sure? Since Ivan the Terrible's here, couldn't she be his Tsaritsa? I've looked into the Tsaritsa Anastasia's history, and she is clearly not the type to relish the spotlight. She became Tsaritsa at the age of 17, and passed away only 13 years later. Ivan the Terrible took several more wives following her death, but he never opened up to anyone else. Generally speaking, one would indeed expect to find her with him, but it is highly improbable that she would be summoned as a servant. Of course, she could still have been an inhabitant of this world, just like Ivan the Terrible, which would have made her summoning possible. But given that she is human in appearance, that seems altogether improbable as well. So then, she's the Romanov dynasty one. Precisely. Anastasia Nikolaevna Romanova. She is the Grand Duchess of Ice, a young girl who bore the brunt of Russia's darkness. Now then, allow me to share an abridged version of Anastasia's background, and some of the secrets I managed to dig out from Chaldea's library.
Chaldea's library? Oh, wasn't it destroyed in the attack?
I anticipated certain emergencies may arise eventually, so I took the liberty of collecting as much useful data from it as I could. Anastasia Nikolaevna oh my god, I can never say her middle name properly. Nikolaevna Romanova. She is the fourth daughter of the last Romanovs ever to hold the Tsardom, Nikolai II, and his wife Alexandra. In the years before her death, famine plagued all of Russia as a result of the ongoing First World War. In 1917, frustrations reached a breaking point. Efforts to quell the protest left some people dead. Some of Russia's soldiers banded together in revolt against the Tsardom. Moscow declared martial law in response, but by then the Imperial Guards had chosen to side with the rebels. After a tremendous uproar, the Tsar abdicated. The Romanov imperial dynasty fell into array, and were essentially confined to house arrest. The historical records describe Nikolai as a good husband and father, but in light of these events it would seem he was ill-equipped to handle the threat to his reign. Alternatively, he may have been perfectly well-equipped, but the times may have simply been too dire for anyone in his position to overcome. In the wake of these events, Russia would end up split into several different factions, eventually uniting as a single nation known as the Soviet Union, but that bit of history can wait for another time. For the moment, let us focus our attention on Nikolai II's family. Having been confined to their home, their lavish lifestyle evaporated practically overnight, and they were seldom heard from ever again.
although records do say that they continued to employ servants and cooks. At any rate, the situation grew more dire the following year, in the April of 1918. The new Leninist administration feared that the Czechoslovak Legion, or White Army, would try to reinstate the Tsar's family by force, and decided to have them executed. Ideally, they would have preferred to do so following a trial, in order to create an official record. But the threat the Tsar's reinstatement posed to their administration forced their hand. Being the cousin of the German Kaiser, Anastasia's mother, Alexandra, still had some value as a bargaining chip. But that value evaporated the instant the German ambassador was assassinated by extremists. In essence, everything about Anastasia's family, their bloodline, their presence, their very existence, was seen as a hindrance. This led the powers that be to refrain from making the Romanovs' sentence public, and so instead they determined to do away with them in secret. So they were executed. At least, that is how those in power liked it described. Those who were present said it was, in truth, no more than a massacre. Some believed that Anastasia managed to survive her family's execution, but that theory was thoroughly disproven several decades later thanks to DNA testing. There is simply no denying that this innocent young girl had her life ripped from her simply because she was born to the wrong family at the wrong time. Anastasia's story is indeed one of tragedy. She is one of many sacrificed on the altar of history. However, although her story in proper human history ends there, it continues in the history of magecraft. The history of magecraft? Does that mean the Romanov dynasty was involved in magecraft?
I'm afraid the answer to that question remains unclear. They may have had some secret involvement in it, or they may have merely known of its existence. All we know for certain is that a number of lost Fabergé eggs made their way into the world of magecraft. From that we learned that each generation Tsar had formed a contract of sorts with a certain Phantasmal. However, as this rumored Phantasmal did not see fit to save Tsar Nikolai II's life, the notion was dismissed as false. But after seeing Anastasia fight, I have determined that there is another possibility. She is a shaman, a spirit keeper. In other words, it was neither her father nor her brother Alexei who was the heir to the Romanov magecraft. It was indeed Anastasia herself. So she's the heir to an imperial family who've been ruling over a land of ice and snow for more than 300 years, huh? Ain't quite as bad as Ivan the Terrible. Still pretty goddamn intimidating. But here in this Lost Belt, Ivan the Terrible's tsardom has continued unabated for the past 450 years. A lot of difference twixt Yaga history and ours. Humans seem more than a mite frail in comparison, but we got all manner of knowledge and wisdom over the years that let us take down even our toughest enemies. So running a place like this for 300 years is damned impressive. No two ways about it. Unfortunately, while I've learned a great deal about the threat she poses, I'm afraid I have nothing to offer in the way of strategy against her. I see. Well, times like that, the simpler the better. I say we hit her hard and fast. Bushwhacker! Not much you can kill if you keep on plugging at it until it stops moving. Not much you can't kill if you keep on plugging at it till it stops moving. If it bleeds, you can kill it. Perhaps the simple solution would be best in this case. For the moment, I suggest we try Billy's plan of action, such as it is, when we next see her. What about summoning a new servant to serve as a shield? Naturally, their one job would be to keep me nice and safe. There you have it, everyone. In the end, you just have to do the best you can with what you have.
Good morning, Master.
Morning, Mash. You heard the man. Golem's halt.
Is something wrong, Avicabron?
That's a Diavoltron.
It's surrounded by a large number of smaller demonic beasts. You could go around them.
This is still an unproven hypothesis, but...
Yes?
I believe that Diavoltron would, well, Make good golem materials? Yes. Well, I suppose I'll just have to help you out. This will be quite a foe for our first battle together. Come then. Alright. Fighting a Diavoltron, because that became Braun wants golem mats. Oh man. Ooh, these Kraychats gonna have high HP.
Oh, Kadoc, 了解。はっ、その命立たせてもらう。
It's good thing none of them used a shield poison reload again. Unfortunately, not enough to kill. It's a good thing we're killing that one first next turn. Yeah. Sounds like I should be able to kill it. Yeah, let's use Bulwark around on one of them. Now you guys could stop doing that to waver.
承諾した。おう、承諾した。せい。沈め。はっ。その命立たせてもらう。
Alright, someone's getting poisoned. And waver. That figures.
Oh, 承諾した。沈め。甘い。
I don't think this is gonna kill Waver. I don't think the poison's gonna kill him because I think it only does 500, right? Yeah, it does. Okay. Alright, now the Diavoltron. Oh, only 180,000. That's nothing. Just realized I've got to put my Mystic Code, the other Mystic Code back on, but oh well. That's nothing new. Not a kill, but it has... Oh, yeah. Basically a kill.
最上に近い勝利。戦う前に勝つくらいでなければ。
How was I to command, Master? You looked awesome out there! I see. So you've taken a liking to this mystic code of mine. I knew it. I knew it.
We're almost to the Rebel Army stronghold now, Salieri. Soon we'll be able to introduce you to everyone else.
Wait a moment. If you lot are on the side of proper human history, I don't suppose you have a piano at this stronghold, do you?
No, I'm afraid not.
I see. Well then, I shall just have to make my own musical instrument when I have a spare moment.
Just speaking for myself, but I think I'd rather find you the time to actually fight first.
A most reasonable request, but I know the truth. Admit it, Avakibron. You prefer making golems over fighting, don't you?
That is true. Even so, I must put combat first. I would never while away my time fiddling with instruments.
Nor would I. I am a servant first and a musician second. Naturally, I too would put combat first.
You two certainly do enjoy your hobbies. You're
one to talk.
Well, that's strange. Here I was under the impression that I was fully devoting myself to helping Master restore humanity.
They say it because you act like your hobbies are the only thing you care about.
I see. So that's how I come across, is it? Anyone who likes to spend their time making things come across as a slacker... Anything who likes to spend their time making things comes across as a slacker hobbyist. I swear, they're all a bunch of useless good-for-nothings.
But aren't you basically the queen of slacker hobbyists?
Hey, I do not slack off when it comes to work, thank you very much.
John, reporting in. Hey, they're back! Open the gate!
Welcome back. Mr. Golem, can you make a golem for us too? Please?
Normally I would encourage you to learn the value of hard work while you were young, but I suppose your lives here are hard enough as it is. Aw, little golem. Here you are, a mini golem. It should be able to help you with your chores.
Yay, I'm gonna work it like a slave.
That is not its intended use.
Good, you have returned. Are you a servant as well?
I am. My name is Salieri. It's quite alright if you haven't heard of me. My name is of little consequence.
Yes. Mozart's, well, at any rate, why are you wearing that outfit?
Innocent monster. I am the man in gray. I am the one destined to kill Amadeus. I only go by Salieri as a matter of convenience, but you may call me that if you like.
Well, I suppose stories like yours are not too uncommon in this world. The circumstances of my own summoning were not exactly normal. Now then, John, there's something we need to discuss. Remember the ore you once asked us about? The one that can be used to engrave magecraft spells. At the time, I believe you also mentioned a jewel that could be used to control golems. I managed to track down a lead on both.
Oh, you don't say. Where are they?
Not so fast. I'd like to make a deal before I share my information.
Not again!
Yes, again. I cannot afford to lose your combat prowess. I trust John and Mash, but... once your ship is repaired, you may end up leaving this world behind, right? Absolutely not. The problems here are our problems as well. We're not going anywhere until we solve this crisis. You can count on that. Isn't that right, Director Gordoff?
Huh? Yes, of course. Mash is quite right. This land's problems are our problems, and we won't run from them at the first sign of trouble. That said, we grown-ups do have extenuating circumstances to deal with, and they won't wait around forever, so...
What are you trying to say?
I'm, trying to say that, well, we can't say anything for sure until we actually see what's actually going to happen. Is that yellow I see on your protruding gut? Don't you talk about my belly, and no, I don't have any guts! I'm not like Holmes. I can't talk my enemies into giving themselves up. When the going gets tough, Gordolf gets going. In the other direction.
My condolences that you are forced to deal with this man as your superior.
Hold on. Sorry about that. Phone call. I feel sorry for you having that man as your superior. Now, can I ask for your assistance in exchange for my information?
Alright. What sort of deal do you have in mind?
I will come right to the point. I want your help building a new stronghold.
A new stronghold? Wow, that sounds right up Advocate Braun's alley.
No, I think it would be too dangerous to rely exclusively on him.
Dangerous?
His power is not limitless in scope, nor is it a permanent solution. After all, these Yaga need to know how to fend for themselves, even after we disappear.
But doesn't that plan of action harbor a different sort of danger? Granted, learning new things always brings that possibility, but nonetheless.
I understand your point. And yes, it is certainly possible that they could misuse this knowledge and power for their own ends. But even so, I believe it is a good thing for them to learn how to survive. Why should it make a difference? It's their choice whether they spend their lives working honestly or decide to turn to banditry. It's no concern of yours what they do after you're gone. Besides, it's human nature to be obsessed with keeping up with the Joneses. If anything, it seems to me as though providing them with supportive technology will only make their futures brighter. You do make a solid point, Director. Yes, I suppose you are right. It is the Yaga's choice whether to be weak and be eaten, or to be strong and do the eating. Or even to find a new path altogether. By the way, may I ask if you have a particular location in mind for this new stronghold? I do. There is a ravine right at the midpoint between here and the capital. It is protected by a large forest inhabited by vicious demonic beasts, which would make it difficult for the Opportunity from the capital to attack it. Whereas there are no mountains between here and the ravine to block our path. I see. But in that case, wouldn't its natural defenses also make it difficult for you to attack the capital? Yes, I have considered that, which is why I have not moved there thus far. But now, scouts have discovered a tunnel that safely cuts through the woods. At the moment, this tunnel is still only partially hollowed out. But once it is complete, we could reach Yaga Moscow in a single day. It would let us attack it with the element of surprise. What's more, this tunnel is an excellent place to find the sort of ore you seek.
So you want us to help you build this new stronghold, and to finish digging the tunnel, right?
I've already put together a team of my own Yaga. We will set out once you are all ready. Alright. So that'll do it for this episode. And in the next one, we will take on Chapter 16. Deforestation, Mining, and Construction. The Strath Stronghold. So, I'll see you guys then. Bye!